An octopus can escape a sealed tank. It can unscrew jars from the inside. It can remember individual human faces. And here's the part that shouldn't be possible. More than half of its brain isn't in its head. If a human lost control of half their neurons, they'd be paralyzed. If an octopus loses an arm, that arm can still think, feel, and decide on its own. Each arm can taste the world. Each arm can explore independently, and yet together they behave as a single, intelligent being. This breaks one of biology's most basic assumptions. That intelligence requires a centralized brain. Octopuses evolved intelligence completely separately from humans more than 500 million years ago. No backbone, no familiar blueprint. And that forces scientists to ask an unsettling question. What if intelligence doesn't work the way we think it does at all? The octopus doesn't just challenge what we know about intelligence. It quietly dismantles the rules we use to define memory, learning, and even consciousness. With no bones, no spine, and no centralized brain like ours, it solves problems, plans ahead, uses tools, and remembers past experiences. Not because it evolved to think like us, but because it evolved to think in a way that has no human equivalent. For decades, biology taught a simple lesson. Complex intelligence requires a complex brain, and complex brains require a backbone. Mammals and birds fit neatly into that framework. The octopus does not. It belongs to the cephalopods, a group that split from our evolutionary line more than 500 million years ago, long before dinosaurs existed. Whatever intelligence an octopus possesses, it evolved entirely on its own. And yet, when scientists observe them, the similarities are impossible to ignore. Octopuses can watch a human open a jar and replicate the same motion later. They learn by observation, not just trial and error. In experiments, they navigate mazes, recognize shapes and colors, and solve multi-step problems that require memory and planning. These are abilities once believed to be exclusive to animals with large, centralized brains. But here's where the story takes an unexpected turn. More than half of an octopus's neurons are not located in its head. They are spread throughout its arms. Each arm contains its own dense network of neurons capable of sensing, processing, and responding to the environment. In other words, an octopus does not have one brain. It has many. Each arm can decide how to move, what to touch, how tightly to grip, and when to let go. The central brain sends out broad intentions like exploring, hunting, or escaping, but the arms determine how those intentions are carried out in real time. Intelligence, in this case, is not concentrated in a single command center. It is distributed throughout the body itself. And this creates a problem scientists still can't fully explain. If intelligence is spread across the body, where does the octopus's mind actually exist? In humans, sensory information travels to a centralized brain, where it is processed and turned into decisions. In an octopus, much of that processing happens locally, inside the arms themselves. The arms don't wait for detailed instructions. They explore independently, reacting instantly to texture, taste, and movement. The result is a system that behaves less like a hierarchy and more like a network. No other known animal operates this way. Even creatures with advanced nervous systems rely on clear chains of command. The octopus breaks that pattern entirely. Its mind functions more like a conversation between semi-independent parts than a single voice issuing orders. This challenges one of neuroscience's most fundamental assumptions, that complex thought must come from a centralized brain. This distributed intelligence may explain why octopus behavior often feels unpredictable. At times, an octopus appears curious and playful, actively manipulating objects in its environment. At other moments, it becomes cautious, withdrawn, or suddenly aggressive. These shifts aren't random. They suggest an animal constantly evaluating its surroundings through multiple parallel systems, each contributing to the final behavior. In aquariums, this intelligence becomes impossible to ignore. Octopuses have unscrewed lids, dismantled equipment, blocked water filters, and rearranged objects inside their tanks. Some memorize entire facility layouts, learning where vulnerabilities exist. In one well-documented case, an octopus learned the nightly routine of aquarium staff, escaped its enclosure after hours, crossed the floor, entered another tank to feed, and returned before morning. The missing fish left behind no obvious explanation. These are not reflexes, they are not accidents, they point to planning, memory, and an understanding of cause and effect. The octopus is not simply reacting to its environment, it is actively testing it. At this point, if you're enjoying this deep dive into one of nature's strangest minds, make sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. We explore the science behind intelligence, consciousness, and the mysteries that still challenge our understanding of the natural world. Even more surprising is the growing evidence that octopuses have individual personalities. When exposed to the same environment, different octopuses respond in dramatically different ways. Some immediately explore new objects, others remain hidden. Some show aggression, others curiosity. These differences persist over time, suggesting stable personality traits rather than temporary moods. Personality is something scientists usually associate with social animals that live long lives and learn from others. Seeing it in a solitary invertebrate forces a rethink of how individuality emerges. It suggests that personality does not require social structure or long-term relationships. It can arise purely from how a mind interacts with the world. This leads to an even more uncomfortable question. If an octopus can learn, remember, plan, explore, and display individual preferences, what does it experience internally? Octopuses show signs of pain avoidance, learning from negative experiences, and even boredom. In controlled settings, they engage in what appears to be play, repeatedly interacting with objects without obvious rewards. Play is extremely rare in animals and is often linked to advanced cognitive development. If an octopus can feel boredom, curiosity, and fear, what does that say about its inner life? Unlike most intelligent animals, octopuses live very short lives. Many species survive only 1 to 3 years. They grow rapidly, reach peak intelligence quickly, and then die shortly after reproducing. There is no opportunity to pass down knowledge. Every octopus must rediscover the world on its own. This makes their intelligence even more puzzling. Why would evolution produce such a sophisticated mind inside such a brief life? Some researchers believe the answer lies in their environment. Octopuses live in complex, dangerous habitats filled with predators. They lack shells or physical defenses. Instead, they rely on camouflage, problem-solving, and rapid adaptation. Their skin can change color and texture instantly, controlled by the nervous system and responding faster than conscious thought. Intelligence became their primary survival tool. Genetically, octopuses are just as unusual. They possess an unusually high number of genes related to neural development and can edit their own RNA in real time, particularly in the nervous system. This rare flexibility may help explain their extraordinary adaptability and learning ability. To many scientists, octopuses represent a completely separate experiment in intelligence, one that unfolded independently from the evolutionary path that produced humans, mammals, or even vertebrates at all. Everything we recognize as smart in an octopus emerged without any connection to our biological blueprint. That is why comparisons to extraterrestrial intelligence keep resurfacing, not as science fiction, but as biology. If intelligent life exists elsewhere in the universe, it may not resemble humans or even animals with centralized brains. It may be distributed, embodied, and unfamiliar. The octopus gives us a living example of that possibility. When an octopus dies, everything it learned disappears with it. It is brilliance without continuity, awareness without inheritance. That contrast challenges our deepest assumptions about intelligence. Intelligence is not a ladder with humans at the top. It is a branching tree filled with strange solutions to survival. The octopus didn't fail to become human-like, it succeeded in becoming something entirely different. As scientists continue to study octopuses, long-held beliefs about brains, minds, and consciousness are being dismantled. The octopus shows that intelligence can be decentralized, embodied, and fleeting. In breaking the rules of biology, it reveals something even more unsettling. Those rules were never universal to begin with. So the next time you see an octopus, ask yourself this: are you looking at a simple sea creature, or one of the most alien forms of intelligence this planet has ever produced? If this exploration changed the way you think about intelligence, make sure to like the video and subscribe. More deep dives into the mysteries of science, nature, and the mind are coming next.